Today, I'm going to show you how you can connect the After Effects MCP to Claude Code so you can start prompting in Claude Code and creating an After Effects. I'm also going to show you how you can create expressions in Claude Code and implement them into After Effects to get your animations and motion graphics on point every single time. So if you've ever used After Effects, we all know how tedious the process can be. Expressions are usually the most powerful part of After Effects, and a lot of people don't even use them, which is pretty crazy. They let you automate your animation process. You can link your properties together. You can build some really responsive rigs with expressions, but actually writing expressions means you're dealing with JavaScript, you're coding, and you're dealing with these error messages that usually don't mean anything to you. And if you have no coding experience and you're not technical at all, expressions can be really intimidating at first. So in the past, if you've been using expressions, we've always done it. We Google, how do we write this expression for this effect? I want a simple looped wiggle expression. Let me Google it. Let me search it up on YouTube. And you spend hours searching through YouTube videos and Google just to get the right expression. You then copy and paste the expression from different blog posts. You tweak one number, you get an error, undo, and the process just gets really repetitive and annoying. But there is a way where you can just describe what you want and have it written out for you. You can implement it, watch it build out live using Claude Code and After Effects. But before we get started into the actual nitty-gritty of the tutorial, I want to explain what an MCP, Model Context Protocol, is and why this is important when using Claude Code. So Claude Code is Anthropic's coding agent, and it runs directly in your terminal or an IDE like VS Code. And you can connect it through external tools like an MCP. You almost have to think of it like a bridge. Claude Code on one side and then After Effects on the other. After Effects MCP gives Claude Code access to pretty much all of its features. Claude can look directly into After Effects and iterate, build, animate, design based on exactly what you want via a text prompt. So if I want a super simple wiggle animation, I send that off to Claude Code, it builds it in After Effects. But you can get really complex with this. And I've been using AI for After Effects for a very long time. When ChatGPT first came out, it was really good at writing expressions. But now you have this autonomous form factor with Claude Code. So how are we going to set up the After Effects MCP with Claude Code? Before we get started here, I do want to note, to use Claude Code, you do need to be on a paid Claude subscription. So you can either have the Pro, Max, or Teams account, and these range from $20 a month to $200 a month. The more you spend each month, the more tokens and outputs you are going to get. Another thing you're going to need downloaded is obviously After Effects. We're going to be using that throughout this entire video. And then you're going to need an IDE like VS Code, Anti-Gravity, or Cursor. This is just a way to keep your project organized and have the Claude Code extension live in. Essentially, this is where we're going to talk to Claude Code. You can connect the After Effects MCP via the Claude Code desktop app. I prefer the IDE because it's a lot faster. You can see the organization of your project, and all around, it's just the industry standard for working with these separate projects. So to start setting the After Effects MCP up, we're going to start in VS Code. Something to note is Adobe does not have an After Effects MCP. Kind of sucks, but it's only a matter of time before this actually does come out. And so if you scroll around and you search up the After Effects MCP and how to connect it, it's going to take you always to GitHub, where people have created their own versions. But what I've done is I've essentially just created those versions in a separate project folder that you guys can download in the description below. So download that project file in the description below, open that project file in VS Code, and you should see a README, a setup Mac, and a setup Windows. You won't see this videos folder. This is just for this video specifically. Once we have this project folder open, we're going to need to have the Claude Code extension downloaded already in VS Code. So if you click on one of these files, you can see I have the Claude Code extension up here in the top right corner. And if I click that, it's going to open up essentially a chat box that I can talk to Claude Code to. And if you haven't set up the Claude Code extension, it's super easy. Just make sure that you're signed into your Claude Code account. Search up Claude Code in the extensions tab. Make sure you're clicking that first one, and it has about 10 million downloads to this date. Download it, open it, sign back in, and then you should be set up with this chat box right here. So because you're working in the project folder that I already gave to you, all you have to say in Claude Code is, let's set up the After Effects MCP. I'm going to shoot off the let's set up the After Effects MCP. We're going to let Claude Code think a little bit. It's going to prompt us to download some things on our computer. It's going to create a new folder for us based on your operating system. Here's the After Effects MCP folder, and it has all of After Effects MCP available to Claude Code. Because I already configured this and built this previous to this video, it's not going to prompt me through downloading with my password. This project is going to ask you, can I download these certain things on your computer? Completely safe. It's just going to ask for your password as a form of security. And it's going to ask you to run that command in your terminal. So if you're wondering how to pull up the terminal and run the command to download the MCP, there's two ways you can do that. You can right-click on your directory up here and open a new terminal, or you can just pull up the terminal from the bottom tab right here, run the command, type in your password, it'll download everything for you, and then it'll prompt you for next steps, which is to open After Effects and then actually enable the scripting, which I'll show right now. So when we're in After Effects, the only thing that we need to do is actually implement the MCP, is actually to just let After Effects know that the MCP is available for Claude Code. And how we do that is we're going to go to Window. We're going to scroll all the way down to where you see the MCP bridge-auto. Click that and enable it, and then you're set up. That's all you have to do. Now Claude Code has access to After Effects, and we can start building right now. I'll give you a little demo. So if we go back into Claude Code and let's just say, we're just gonna say create a composition named main comp. We're gonna shoot that off and go back into After Effects. And then as you can see, it created the main comp composition right here. We can open it, start interacting with it. So if we really wanted to, we can build out some pretty cool animations. Now it's not gonna be perfect. You definitely still need the human iteration and human creativity going into your After Effects compositions, animations, and motion graphics. But it's nice to have Claude Code sit on the side. If you have any questions, it can help implement and iterate for you. So just for fun, before we get into the next part of the video, which is expressions, let's create a sunrise scene. The sun is rising over the horizon. Super simple, super easy, nothing crazy at all. I just want to show that you can create scenes and animations in After Effects using Claude Code. Now, it's probably not going to be crazy at all. It's just going to be I'm only saying create a super simple sunrise animation over the horizon. I'm going to shoot that off, let that build out. Again, this is not to show you how in-depth Claude Code can get. It's just to show you that Claude Code is able to build out scenes for you. So I'm gonna sit in After Effects and watch this build out. And here was the output. Again, not crazy, not super complex, but as you can see, the gradient in the background is rising in intensity. The sun has a glow. There's a very basic ground horizon right here. It's super simple, super easy, but just to prove a point that you can use Claude Code to help build out these animations in After Effects. So I guess if you're working on really simple animations, go ahead and try it. Another cool thing that you can do too is if you're working on something more complex and you have a ton of experience in After Effects, but you don't know a feature or you need help with expressions or you need something super specific, you can ask Claude Code and it will search what's in your project to help you build out exactly what you're looking for. Okay, now we're gonna move to the second part of this video, and it's actually using Claude Code to write expressions for us in After Effects. If you've ever used expressions before, this is essentially just the code version of keyframing or looping or using certain effects in After Effects. So in an expression, like if we have this text right here, we can click down here and say we want to apply an expression to the position. We can just hold Option on our keyboard and click the little swirly option, and that will open up our expression panel. But we can have Claude Code create these expressions for us, and essentially we just copy and paste for the exact effect that we're looking for. So I'll show you right now. So for the first expression, this is very simple, very bare bones, but every motion designer has done this 100 to 1,000 times, which is wiggling. So for example, if we wanted it to wiggle and we wanted to have 5 on the x-axis and 20 on the y-axis, we can play this wiggle and it wiggles around. Obviously, that's pretty intense. That's a pretty intense wiggle, but you'll see in a lot of videos, especially explainer videos, they add wiggle to the text to add some motion, keep the viewer locked into the video. But the second that you need something a little bit more specific, it gets pretty complicated fast when writing out these expressions. Say you wanted to wiggle, but only on the x-axis, or you wanted to start wiggling at a certain point in time or another, or you want a really smooth wiggle instead of a jittery default. You can get really deep into the expression syntax, trying to remember how to actually separate dimensions and use time conditions, all that fun stuff that comes with expressions in After Effects. If I go into After Effects and I drop on this prompt, add a wiggle expression to this layer's position, I want it to wiggle only on the x-axis 3 times per second, 30 pixels of amplitude. So to wiggle at 1 second and easy to stop by 3 seconds, I can shoot that off and it will build that in After Effects. You can also prompt it to just give you the expressions. So instead of using the After Effects MCP with Claude Code, you can just say, hey, I need to create this expression in After Effects for this text. Please give me the expression that I can copy and paste into After Effects. So as you can see, if we go back into After Effects, and we look at the position expression on this text, Claude is writing out this entire expression for us in After Effects. So it says it's wrapped up and it gave us a little summary of what it did. And if we play this, we can see that the hello world is shaking very, very subtly. Obviously, this is not the effect that I would use in a video, but you can get really specific with it. So with just a natural text prompt in Claude Code, it can implement those expressions into After Effects in seconds. But then you also have the alternative route of just copy and pasting if you don't want to set up the After Effects MCP. So again, just off a very simple text prompt, I got this really specific animation. But let's dive into something a little bit deeper when it comes to expressions. For this next expression, we're going to go and create a text background box, or just a background box in general, that will automatically fit a text box instead of us having to go and manually resize things. So for example, if we wanted to create a text box behind this hello world, every single time that we resize the hello world box, that background box is not adapting to the text box. And if you've tried to build this with expressions, you know exactly the pain. You're going to need to account for all of the padding. You need to link the shape path and the size properties. All the syntax can get really finicky really fast. You can get that box to be 50 pixels off and it's anchored in the wrong center. There's a lot of things that can go wrong with it. But again, this is just to save us time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop this prompt into Claude Code. Create a responsive background text box behind my text layer. I want 40 pixels on the horizontal padding and 20 pixels on the vertical padding. The box should be centered on the text and have rounded corners with a 10 pixel radius. So it's a pretty specific prompt, but Claude Code has access to the After Effects MCP. It's going to use those tools and build the expressions for us. A cool thing with Claude Code is if it's getting stuck, it will go and find the resources to help fix those problems. So for example, it's getting stuck on the MCP bridge that handles nested properties. And so it's going and it's looking at the MCP integration help to find the problem and fix it for us. And boom, just like that, we have the background box behind the text box. And if you see, if we update the actual text box to something like hello world, this is amazing. The background box is tied to the text box. Even on animations, as we were doing before with the basic wiggling, text box and the background box both stay connected. And again, this is all just through Claude Code, After Effects MCP connection, and Claude Code built this all. So if you have certain things in your projects that you want to get done, but you're not sure how to do them, you can have Claude Code connect to the After Effects MCP, and you can just prompt it, ask it questions, and see how far you can go with actual scene building. The setup takes under 5 minutes. It's super easy. And again, I've got everything in a free project download below in the description, so you don't have to go and find all the resources yourself. Also, it does not matter if you're running this on Mac or Windows. The README file in the project folder has instructions for Claude Code to set this up for you. So download it, run the scripts, make sure you're connected, and then you can start building. If there are After Effects workflows that you want to see me build, feel free to let me know in the comments. I'm happy to build those out. If you like AI content like this, feel free to drop a like and a follow. It means the world to me. I plan to make a lot of content on the creative AI side of things. So if you have any new ideas, questions, comments, drop them down below. I'm happy to cover them. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one.